ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of the Botcast. I'm your host, the Frankster, and I'm here with my good buddy,
the Arrow, DJ Hart.
And we got more exciting Transformer stuff this week. We had a pretty awesome event last weekend. We got a recap. We got some news to get into, and we got a juicy main topic. So let's go ahead and get started. So, DJ, how was last week on the game for you?
Last weekend's event was not bad. 310 points to complete it. Not difficult at all. Most alliances are going to be able to do that. In the Cybercore family of alliances, we finish it pretty early, and then we filter down into the lower alliances to help them finish it. You probably saw I scored pretty high in your alliance when I moved to help you guys. But good prizes on the line, some sparks, some shards. No bad prizes this time around. They didn't waste our time with Crim Zeke and Battle Boosts and stuff like that. It was a good event. It was good prizes. Everybody benefited from it.
It was really good. I got a 4-star scatter shot. I was happy about that. He's not a bad bot.
He's not a bad bot. I've been hunting him for a while. You got a pretty good bot.
Biggest thing, though, I scored 20,000 with like half a day to spare when we completed the event, and I didn't even lose any sleep to do it. I could have got, I think, the pace I was on with another half a day to go, I think I could have hit around 23,000 easy.
Oh, for sure. I don't remember what I scored. I lost track of mine. I know, you know what? Before my alliance completed the event, I don't think I'd quite scored 8,000 yet. So I ended up scoring in like 2 or 3 other alliances in the Cybercore family to help them out, and I probably capped out at like 20,000 if I had to guess. Maybe 15.
I spent a ton of Spark and Energon last week upgrading bots I hadn't really messed with, like 4-star Cynthius Magnus, 4-star Jazz. I beefed them up because I had a stockpile of resources, and it made a huge difference. My A-team is like zone 13 now.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's the highest you've ever been.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Wait till you get to 14. It's
Also, while I'm thinking about it, War, they made some changes, like, literally right after we filmed that part of our episode.
Did they? Because I don't know because I did not do my due diligence to actually go and look at War before we recorded that episode. So when I went in there and looked, every single tier of War is now awarded 1,000 premium shards. So that's guaranteed premium crystal if you win the war. And then there's alloy, energon, I think some spark, and when you get to some of the higher tiers, some Z energon. Not worth it.
They kind of, like, it's like funny. They kind of sort of did what we were saying. They just didn't go as far as they should have. They made a baby step.
Right. So, and again, premium crystal for the bottom tier, that's perfect. But as you go up in tiers, more premium crystals. 2 for tier 2, 3 for tier 3, until you get to the top 5. The bottom 3 of the top 5, 3-star crystals. Number 2, 4-star crystal. Number 1, Prime League, 5-star shards. 180 of them at the absolute least. That's what they should do. And then I would happily war.
I don't think we'll ever get there, but that would be amazing if we ever did.
Yeah. So, until war becomes as available as events, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Kudos to them, though, for making some changes, though. Like, at least they realized it needed something, and they gave it a little bit. I mean, a premium crystal for the early levels of war, that's about right.
Oh, so yeah.
It's at least right direction.
Right.
All right, well, I believe it is time for you to work your magic, and let's go over the newsletter.
Alrighty. I'd actually like to skip the newsletter because this episode's late as it is. However,
it is.
We have already had the live stream, and at the time that you folks watch this, you're probably in the middle of grinding the event. So I'm just going to touch on the live stream and what was discussed. I wrote some notes. So during the live stream, they demonstrated Blur and his ability. It's cooler than I thought it would be. It's not what we speculated it would be, but it's still pretty cool. So, first of all, Blur has a passive ability. While he's being shot at and just doing his normal DPS, he has a passive ability where he dodges attack. So he will dodge a certain percentage of damage while he's just doing normal attack. So that will help. Apparently, when he was first demonstrated, his health was a certain level, and a lot of the playtesters said that they didn't think it was quite high enough, and Space Ape agreed, so they upped his health. So he now has a lot of health, from what I understand. His attack is pretty high, but they did lower it a smidge from where it had been, I guess to compensate for the higher health. Now his ability is a rush ability, and when they demonstrated it on the live stream, it was one-shotting targets. So you know me, I like my one-shots, so I'm excited about that. Now he leaves a decoy behind him in the spot he was when he rushes. I guess because he's so fast, there's still an image of him left behind him, and that decoy will last for 10 seconds. It will attack the nearest target and cause EMP damage. So it will stun what it's attacking for the 10 seconds that it's alive. And there's no cap on how many you can leave. So as many times as you can do his ability in 10 seconds, you can have that many decoys on the field. So you'll probably get 3 or 4 before the first one times out. But that would be super useful for your minion squad.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I was already thinking maybe move Sludge to another team and put Blur.
There you go.
Sludge is on there for his health and that he has a minion combat bot attached to him.
Right.
To complete the team.
Right.
Blur sounds like he would better fit the strategy, and that allows me to free up one of my strongest bots to go elsewhere.
Right, and I would agree with you. So now we have 2 new bots that we got recently that can go on your squad. Blur and Broadside, if you manage to get a 3 or 4-star Broadside in the near future.
Yeah.
So, also, during the live stream, they showed off Magnaboss. They haven't talked about his abilities yet. It's still going to be a while before he's in the game. But they showed him off in the studio. They showed him combining and uncombining. He looks really good. I was pleasantly surprised with how good he looked. So I'm excited to see what his abilities are going to be. Also, he's only a 3-part combiner. There's only 3 bots that go into him, so he'll be much easier to complete than the combiners we've had in the past. They also showed off Tripredicus, of course, because he's the Decepticon version, and he looks really good as well. In addition to that, people were asking for a buff to your beloved Optimus Maximus, because, once again, worst combiner in the game, the community has agreed, is Optimus Maximus.
At level 10, to be fair, I only have the level 10. He's very useful at that point. I can't speak to past that. That's all I'm saying.
Once you get your other combiners past that,
yeah,
they're so much better.
I believe you. I'm just saying at level 10, though, he's one of the handier ones to me.
Yeah.
So, for now.
The proof is in the pudding, and the community is asking for a buff. I made a note of it right here. All right, and then the last thing that they touched on, one of all the important things they talked about, is evidently there is a mystery feature coming to the game soon that they will not give us any hints about. They haven't said anything about it, what it could relate to, so all we can do is speculate. But coming to the game soon, probably in the coming months, we're gonna get some big deal mystery feature, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna be. So.
Probably your spark harvester.
Oh, that would be amazing. Wouldn't it be the spark extractor? Oh.
Yeah, that's the spark extractor. Yeah.
I'm not going to get my hopes up, but wouldn't that be great? That would be great.
If we do, though, you called it. I'm saying that now. That is what's in the game.
Yep.
You called it.
Yep. Called it 2 weeks ago. Yep. So, but that was what was touched on in the live stream, and you know what? Beyond what was in the email blast, there's really not much else in the email blast that they talked about in the live stream, so there's no point going over the email blast this week.
Yeah, big event, though. We're getting Blur, so...
We are getting Blur.
The event by the time you see this, but it's going to be awesome because we get Blur.
Yes, so the upcoming events, it's going to be 150 prestiges, 1,500,000 points to complete. Every prestige, you get a crystal that gives you a shot at a 3 or 4-star Blur shards, 3 or 4-star shards, perhaps premium shards as well.
That's the way I like it too, because my launch usually gets 30 some odd prestiges, but as you've seen in the past, every time I almost always get the 3 and the 4.
Right, almost, yeah. Now, me, not so much. I've got, in a prestiged event where there was a bot on the line, I got the 4-star bot twice. I got, way back when Goldfire was released, I got the 2, 3, and the 4-star Goldfire, and I did it in the first 4 crystals I cracked. That was like the best crystal cracking ever. And I didn't use Goldfire. And then I got 4-star Silverbolt. Beast Wars Silverbolt, when they released him several months ago. Other than that,
the other 2 are the ones I got everything of. Silverbolt was the only one I owned.
Right. So you're ready to get Magna Boss, and all you'll need is a 4-star Silverbolt.
Yes.
So it might be worth, every time there's a Silverbolt pack out, it might be worth you buying that bundle. You might not get them, but eventually, each one of those usually has about 1,000, maybe 500 to 1,000 Silverbolt shards. So you do that 5 or 6 times over the course of, a couple of months, you'll get them, and you'll have a 4-star Magna Boss.
Next bundle I'm getting, though, is going to be the Autobot New Joiner. I want those 5,000 Shanks to get me that much closer to Beast Wars Megatron.
Oh, yeah. I'm already... Speaking of that, since our last episode, 5-star Megatron just appeared on the Autobot side, which means for the Decepticon players, 5-star Primal just appeared in their Shanix store. Just unceremoniously, he just showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah. I saw it and texted you, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I was like, what? And I immediately logged into the game, and I was like, I'll be a son of a... It was amazing.
I screenshotted it, sent you the pic, and said, well, that's another year till I get 4 Megatron.
Yeah. Now, I have 50+ thousand. I can already get him. But I'm holding off until I know what it's going to take to get 4-star Titan. Because right now I've got the 3-star Titan. There's going to be an event that people will have a chance to get the 4-star version. After that doesn't quite work out for people who... Because it's probably going to be 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million point event. So I want to see if they release it in Shanix, if they release it in the store and it takes like 4-star shards. I want to see what they're going to do before I spend my Shanix on 5-star Megatron. Because as much as I want him, he's all on the Decepticon side, and I want him to complete my collection, but my Decepticon squad is not my primary focus right now. I need to do everything I can to strengthen my Autobot side. So I'm going to wait until I know what it's going to take to get that 4-star Titan.
Well, see, I was trying to get one Decepticon team all 4 stars. I'm 2 bots away from it. If I just get one more 4-star Decepticon, and then when I get the Shanix, get 5-star Beast Wars Megatron, that team's finished. And that team's going to wreak havoc in weekend events.
See, I could already do that. I've got enough 4-star Decepticons that I could have a full squad of them, but I only use 2 of them. The rest of them I don't want to use.
See, I got good ones. I got Megatron, Waspinator, Thunderbolt, right?
Thundercracker.
Thundercracker, thank you.
Yeah.
And I also have Vortex, and there's one more.
So you did get a lot of good ones. I've got a bunch of other ones that I won't use.
And then my 3 stars on that team for right now are 3-star Starscream and Blitzwing. So that team is like a solid team anyway.
Yeah, super solid team. So.
All right. Well, I think that's enough on that. We should get to the mailbag segment. Hopefully somebody pitched some ideas for a name. We asked everybody for help.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
I'm going to throw it to you for that because you do the technical stuff.
All righty. Excuse me. Me. All right. So this go around, we have 2 comments on our previous episode. All right. Our first comment comes once again from Mr. John J. Pollock, and he says, "Thanks for the shout out, guys. Frankster, thanks for the Von Miller. Go Rams. Anyway, all kidding aside, do either of you collect figures?" Well, to answer your question, yes, we do. And I will go ahead and show off the figures that I've collected so far. I'm very particular about how I spend my money. So my first figure that I will show you is... Ectotron. Ectotron is the collaborative figure from Hasbro. It is the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, who became a Transformer in a collaborative crossover comic book. Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time, and of course I'm a big Transformers fan, so this was a must-have. I love this figure. It's easy to transform, he's very easy to pose, and he looks great. So that's my first figure. My second figure is a collaborative effort, also from a movie that I'm very, very fond of, and that is Gigawatt. Gigawatt is the DeLorean from Back to the Future, also from a crossover comic book, which was very interesting. Very easy to transform, not as posable, but still easy to stand up. Looks really, really good. Look, you've even got the flux capacitor right there. You got a couple of different ways you can put his accessories on him. He looks fantastic. I love this figure. And my last figure, which I do not have transformed because it's a pain in the arse, is the Ultimate Expanse, which is the crossover between Transformers and the X-Men. So he is the Blackbird from X-Men who transforms into Ultimate Expanse, which I thought was a dumb name, but I ran across it at Walmart, and I was like, I'm sorry, not Walmart, Target. Don't shop at Walmart if you don't have to. I found this at Target, and I was like, well, I wasn't looking for him, but here he is. So, yoink. So, he looks really, really good in Blackbird mode. He looks fantastic. I believe this is the same mold they used for Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire from the Studio series. And then, of course, here's his underside, so you can see some of his belt, and this is his chest here, and this head is, in here somewhere. I've transformed him one time. It was a massive pain in the butt. There's way too many moving parts to this thing. I might transform him one more time to put him on display, but for right now, I keep him in jet mode. And those...
I think he looks better in jet mode.
He does. He looks much better. But those are my figures. Oh, and Ectotron came with Slimer.
That's awesome.
Yep. So those are my figures.
Alright, well, first of all, the first thing he mentioned was Von Miller to the Rams because he saw I was a Bronco fan. I am heartbroken about that. The man should have been a career Bronco, but I'm happy he's on a team with a chance to win a Super Bowl because he deserves another one. So, go Von Miller, always be a fan. Hate you're not a Bronco anymore. On to the figures. I don't collect Transformers. They're a little pricey for me. But I did have a figure line that I did fall in love with, and it's the Hasbro's the retro G.I. Joes that are available at Walmart, only a Walmart exclusive, or at least they have been so far. I have all but the second wave because no Walmart anywhere near where I live got Scarlet, Roadblock, or Destro, which completely frustrated me. I have all the rest of them so far. There's Stalker. Stalker and Cobra Trooper everywhere. Like, apparently nobody wants them. And I have the vehicles, like, for instance, the Cobra Fang here. I still have them all in the original case. I haven't opened any of them. I love G.I. Joes. I think they were the coolest toy line ever, mainly because of the insane vehicles that it had. Like the Flag or the Space Shuttle. Those are just some really cool toys. And when they had originals, or made to be as close to the originals as possible, I couldn't pass up collecting them because I just think they're too cool. And that's my collection there. So on to our second and only other comment.
Oh, there you go. All right. Our second comment comes from Bossman6774. And he says, loving the show, guys. Couldn't agree with you more about your take on wars. The rewards need to be improved. That would drive up interest and participation. Also, a rotating reward system would be great. One question for you guys. Which bot are you wanting to see in the game? For me, it's Retgar. So, for those of you who don't know, Retgar is a Junkion from the Junkion planet. They're a race of Transformers who basically live on a planet that's a dump. They were introduced in Transformers the movie, Interesting characters. Not my favorite, but everybody's got theirs. So, what characters am I looking to see in the game? Well, I've made it no secret. I love my aerial bots. I love one-shotting abilities. That's my favorite strategy. I would love to see the Rainmakers show up in the game, and that is Acid Storm, Nova Storm, and Ion Storm. They were introduced in Transformers the Animated Series. One is bright green, bright purple, and bright yellow. And their whole thing was they would create clouds and acid would fall from the sky and it would disable the Autobots. That was their shtick in the one episode that they were introduced. But and they're Seekers, so they're just repaints of the Starscream mold. But I would love to see them introduced into the game and see what kind of abilities they would be given. Like I said, aerial bots are my thing. I want more aerial bots. Frankie, who would you like to see introduced in the game?
The one I wanted for so long to see the most, they already did, an Optimal Optimus. And what sucks is I only got the 2-star of it when he came out. It's like the only new bot all year that I only got the 2-star. And he's the one I've been wanting for forever. But other than him, because they have most of my favorites, but it's really a toss-up between two. And it would be Energon Rodimus, who was really awesome. And I'm watching through Energon for like the first time now, so it's fresh on my mind, which is probably why I go to that.
Gotcha.
So that's a really cool take on Rodimus Prime, aka Hot Rod. And the other one is actually from the Unicon trilogy as well. It would be Armada Starscream.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
That is my favorite incarnation of Starscream.
And you can make him an Autobot.
You just about could.
Yeah, you could do both versions of him.
Yeah,
you could
because
the Autobot and the Decepticon.
Yeah, because he was a loyal Decepticon. He switched sides for a cup of coffee, and then went back. I mean, he was just conflicted the entire show, and then he died at the end. He died a hero.
So he could be like Double Dealer. Put him on both.
You could.
Yeah.
Armada Starscream is my absolute favorite version of the Starscream character. Even above G1, and G1 is awesome. But I love Armada Starscream. He had the best personal story of anybody in that entire first season.
Other than those two, though, anything Beast Wars. Give us all the Beast Wars we can get.
There you go. There you go. You know what, though? One other character I would like to see in the game before we move on. I've already, the aerial bots. And this is a long shot. But they did a survey recently. They had all of us fill out surveys in the game because they were getting ready to have their meeting with Hasbro about what they want to see and what they're working on. And one thing the last comment I put in was, I want to see this guy in the game, along with any other collaborative figures that they can do, but this guy for sure. I want to see Ectotron in the game. And you compare him with Starscream's Ghost on the Decepticon side, I'd love to see that.
Speaking of the collaborative figures, there is one that I would be willing to spend money on if I can track it down, and that's the Dracula Transformer.
Yeah. Well, that's supposed to be a Target exclusive, isn't it?
I think so. I'm not 100%, but most of them have been. But that one I'm not sure. But I want that sucker so bad.
Well, buddy, you better start getting to some Targets. I visit Target almost every day, so.
Have you seen Dracula?
Nah, I've been looking.
He's such a cool bot. He's a Beast Wars bot, and it mixes two of my favorite things, Transformers and the classic Universal monsters. It's like everything in one.
I'm more excited about the Jurassic Park Transformers line. I really want those.
They look
especially
cool.
the T-Rex.
Also, the re-release of the Beast Wars figures are really cool.
Yeah, I've seen those.
But they're cool.
Yeah.
They've only released Megatron, Optimus Primal, Rat Trap, and Cheetor is all I've seen so far.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. They look really good. Now, I said, I'm very particular about what I spend my money on. So all of my figures have been collaboratives, and for the foreseeable future, that's all they will be, because I think they're just amazing. And the Transformers line goes so far back, and there's been so many different incarnations. That is just a rabbit hole that I do not want to find myself falling down.
I love re-releases of original toys, like with the G.I. Joes, the retro line. I just love the ones that are made to spec or as close to spec as possible with the originals. I don't know why. That's just my niche that I like.
Yep. All right, so
main topic time.
Main topic time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Frankster. This was the Frankster's idea last go around, so we're giving it a whirl. We are ranking our individual top 5 best Transformers video games of all time. Franksty. I just said Frankie and Frankster and said deep. That's all, folks.
Like, I'll take Frankenstein, not Frankstein. Just say. All right, so our top 5 personal favorite Transformers video games. 5 and 4 on mine, probably a lot of people are going to disagree with, but they're nostalgic for me, and I haven't played them since back in the day. So my memories of them are, wow, that game was fun. So, gonna go with number 5. I'll do my 5, then you do your 5th. So my 5th one is actually Transformers the Game from 2006, based off the first of the Michael Bay movies.
Really?
I had so much fun with that game when it came out.
Well, buddy, me and you was on the same page because that's my number 5 pick as well.
Well, there we go.
All right, so you tell me why it's your favorite, why it's your number 5, and then I'll tell you mine.
It just, mostly the fond memories of playing. Like, that game sucked me in. I had so much fun. Like, because that movie had such a condensed cast of Transformers anyway, it's like the game was able to really kind of, build the levels around each individual character. And my memory of it is how fun it was and how you could just wander around in the world and get into shenanigans if you wanted to. Like, you could just free roam and just do nothing and it would still be fun.
You could, yeah.
So that would be just pure nostalgia on that one. Because that was around the time period I got back into Transformers after not having seen anything since I was a kid. Was when around the time that movie came out.
Right.
Yeah, so why do you like Transformers the game?
All right. So it's my number 5 pick for a lot of the same reason, the nostalgia of having so much fun with it when it first came out. Also because that was when my interest in Transformers was kind of reawakened. It was the first Transformers game that I had played since PlayStation's Beast Wars back in the early 2000s. And I just had so much fun with it. It was such a good game. You could just transform on command. You could free roam, like you said. It was the game that got me back into Transformers. And for that reason, it's my number 5 pick.
And I think it's a good pick. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, that game? It's like...
Yeah.
All right. Number 4 for me, you actually just mentioned it, was the PlayStation 1 game Beast Wars. I plugged so many hours into that game as a kid.
It's my number 4 pick, too. You just said last week that we'd have the same picks, but they're in different order. So far, our lists are identical.
Well, I can't help it. I know my number 1's not going to be your number 1. I know that for a fact.
Oh, I do, too. I know for sure yours isn't.
But anyway, yeah, that game, so many hours of like 98, 99, just playing that game on like repeat, on loop. I've heard it hasn't aged well. Like, if you pick it up now, it's really clunky and stuff.
Right.
But like, my copy's gone. I let a guy borrow it. He never gave it back to me, so I haven't got it ruined for me. So my memory of that game is just hours of fun as a kid. How's about you?
Same thing. I borrowed it from a buddy of ours back when we were still in middle school. Actually, I had to borrow his old PlayStation so I could play it because I had a Nintendo 64. And I absolutely loved playing that game. It was the first Transformers game I ever picked up and played, and it was just amazing. Being able to transform on command. The levels were unique. I mean, it was just a lot of fun to play at the time. It looked good. It sounded good. I loved that game because I love Beast Wars. I loved Beast Wars. I mean, back when it was still on Netflix, I rewatched the entire show, start to finish, for the first time, taking the whole story for the first time, and loved it start to finish. It just kept getting better. So that game is just it was as close as you could get to actually being part of the Beast Wars, and I wish they'd make another one.
Speaking of you at N64, did you ever play the Blockbuster exclusive N64 Beast Wars Transmetal game?
I did not. I never got to touch it.
You would have hated it. It's a fighting game, first of all.
Ah.
Second of all, like, I tried it once. I could not figure out, like, it was so clunky. I was like, what is this? But there was another one. It was a Transmetal one, too, so it was from later in the show, but...
Yeah,
not
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well,
all right.
What is your number 3 pick, Frankie?
All right, number 3 is the epic 360 game War for Cybertron, where that game had a game engine that was perfect. That's your number 3.
It is my number 3 pick. It is.
Well, at least there's a consensus on this.
Yeah.
So, wow, really, number 3 for you? I thought it would be in the top 2.
No, it's number 3, and there's a reason it's number 3, and I'll explain that. But first, let's hear yours.
Mine, I love it. I love that you get to pick between 3 bots at every level. The only problem is that left the levels kind of, the bots had to be similar, and the levels had to be, geared around what they could do. Like aerial bots only for certain levels. That's the only thing that held that game back from being higher.
Right.
Because the sequel, which I'm sure we'll get to later in the
list, yeah.
Improved and perfected. Yeah, you have the poster. Improved and perfected. But War for Cybertron, by itself, if we had never played Fall, War would be like near the top of this list.
For sure.
A fantastic game.
It would be.
Yeah, and really the only complaints are after Fall came out and you saw the improvements, because playing it when it came out, it was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So that would be why War is my number 3. Fantastic game.
Gotcha. All right, well, it is my number 3 pick because of everything you just mentioned. It was the first Transformers game that I picked up and played since the first Bayformers game, and it was fantastic. And it took everything that game did and just made it better. There was more consistency. I love the open world games can be good, but in Transformers I didn't like it as much as I should have. But this game, it gave you a level, and it wasn't a real tight level either. It was a good solid level. It took transforming was fun.
Like you were in Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Transforming was fun. The weapons were fun. The characters were fun. It was just fun. And you had 2 separate campaigns, an Autobot and a Decepticon, just like in the Bayformers game, which was super good. The Decepticon campaign actually came first. I just thoroughly enjoyed playing that game. I was like a kid in a candy store going, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's super, super hard to top a game like that. And that game was 2 generations ago.
Yes, it was.
All right. So that is my reason.
Released Activision.
There you go. Yeah.
They can't re-release it.
Yeah. High Moon. High Moon needs to get back on that game. Hasbro needs to be, hey, you guys are making it from now on. So
we need another Transformers game. I mean, Battlegrounds was okay, but you could tell they didn't have much of a budget, and they were really trying to make like a introductory strategy game. So it's like it wasn't all it could be.
Yeah,
the G.I. Joe game was actually better.
Yeah, I never played the G.I. Joe game, but kudos to Battlegrounds for trying something different and new that Transformers had not done before.
Transformers as a strategy game can be amazing. I mean, Battlegrounds is fun. I mean, if you haven't played it, I would say try it because it is fun. I'm just saying you could tell they had a limited budget and were trying to make it very simple. If they went all in on it, you would have a game that could easily crack this top 5.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So
what is your number 2 pick? We're getting to the nitty gritty now.
All right. Number 2 is Fall of Cybertron.
Blasphemy.
I knew you would have that as number 2. I knew it.
Absolutely not.
Fall of Cybertron is amazing. There's nothing to really nitpick on this game. It's great, and getting to be Grimlock is absolutely like that just took it to a whole nother level.
It did.
That game, Oh man, like each level is centered around specific Autobots. So while you don't have the choice of before, you have a level more streamlined to that bot and what that bot's abilities are and what its transformed mode is, its vehicle mode.
Mm-hmm.
So they just took war, looked at it, said, how can we perfect this game, implemented that, and made what is most people consider the best Transformers game ever. There's one I like a little bit more. It's just personal preference. But Fall of Cybertron, fantastic. I give you the floor, sir.
All right, my number 2 pick is, of course, Transformers Earthwars. The reason it's my number 2 pick is because first of all, I'm still playing it 4 years after picking it up. It's an amazing game, and it combines so many addictive elements in gaming, it's just hard for someone like me to put it down. First of all, it has the build up your base, build up your army, join an alliance aspect of it that a lot of games have, like Boom Beach, Clash of Clans, and so many other games are copying that same formula, and this game has just taken that and made it just so much more fun than those other games could. The other aspect of this game is the more Pokemon element to it, where you have to collect them all. So you're constantly on the hunt for these new bots to upgrade, to level them up, and then take them into battle with you. It's just such an addictive, such a fun game to play. And I cannot put it down. And I won't put it down until they have to discontinue it and it's not available on the App Store anymore. Hopefully that'll never happen. But I absolutely love this game. I'm happy that I'm still playing it. It's the first and only game that I have ever spent real life money on. I've never done that before in a mobile game. Like, ever. It's the only one. It's an amazing game. And if you're not playing it, why not? That, sir, is why it's my number 2 pick. I give you the floor.
There you go. Earthwars is not a bad pick. I think it's the only mobile game that's ever held my attention for more than like a week. It really is. Like, as far as mobile games go, I think it's the best one I've ever played. And I owe my whole YouTube channel to Earthwars. Without my Earthwars videos, I would be nowhere on YouTube.
I wouldn't be doing it either. I'd still be I'd still have a few wrestling videos up from back in the day, but my channel would be doing nothing. So
yeah, so definitely owe a lot of success to Earthwars. All my other videos that are not Earthwars have a really hard time getting traction. So definitely owe a lot to Earthwars.
Oh yeah.
That being said, it's not my number 1. It's in the honorable mention category. It's like 5.5 on this list. My number 1, I actually have it right here. My number 1 favorite Transformers video game of all time is Transformers Devastation.
I knew it.
I love this game. From, first of all, the art style.
Nope.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. I love it. The art style is amazing. It's so G1. It's amazing. The cel-shaded look. Beautiful game. I love the combat. I know, like, it doesn't do the shooting like the Cybertron series, but the melee combat is awesome. The boss fights with combiners like Devastator and stuff they're just fun. Like, when I started playing Devastation, I didn't put it down until I'd maxed out every bot in the game. Unlocked them all, maxed them out. There's not that many in it, unfortunately. I wanted a sequel. We never got the sequel. Activision moved on to other things. The team that made this game, they moved on to making a Ninja Turtles game that was also really awesome. But yeah, Devastation, from the nostalgic feel of it for the G1, the amazing combat, and the pretty cool level design too. The level design almost reminded me of Transformers the game PS2, number 5 on our list, because it was the big open city. You could kind of get lost. There were areas cut off, but you could still like wander around and go places you're not supposed to. So it had that kind of feel. It was like a throwback to that, while also the look of it threw back to G1. And I just had a blast with it, especially near the end of the game when you're like just fighting like combiner after combiner. Like on that last level, they're all over the place and you're just overwhelmed. But because of the combat, you have that like the Batman Arkham series feel of like no matter who attacks you, you're just going to destroy them. and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just a fun game, and I love it.
Yeah,
So.
I get it. I never care. I have it. I got through I might have got to the 3rd level. I don't know, and I just lost interest because I don't want my Transformers games to be beat 'em ups. I don't. Now, to be fair, I didn't know that I wanted my Transformers game to be what it is on Earthwars. But I played a beat 'em up Transformers and I didn't like it. I want it to be I prefer them to be 3rd-person shooters like the Cybertron series. I mean, if you add a little bit more combat to it, like in the in the Cybertron games, you have like 1 melee attack, and that's all you got. If you added a couple more, like, if you did like, huh, 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 as opposed to just one, that would be fine,
Just did the Metal Gear Solid thing. That's the sound the Solid Snake makes. With the punch kick combo.
You can tell we love that game now. But as far as the games go, I want them to be shooters. So, which leads me to my number 1 pick. Excuse me for a minute.
Well, we know what this one's going to be.
My number 1 pick for the greatest Transformers video game of all time. Just looking at it makes me happy. Transformers Rise of the Darkspark.
What?
Ha! Gotcha. It's full of Cybertron. No, this game was disappointing as hell.
Oh, God.
No. Fall of Cybertron. Greatest Transformers game ever made. Because, like we said earlier, took everything that made War for Cybertron good and just improved upon it. It made the weapons clearer and more distinctive. It gave you more weapons without making them more convoluted. They didn't change the shooter style of the game, which I loved. That you had played as a different Transformer in each level, which was fantastic. I do miss being able to pick which bot I'm going to be, but I didn't hate that I didn't have to, or that I couldn't, because the levels were so good and so open. The story was so good. The music was good. The level design was good. Playing as Grimlock was just stupid fun. I mean, the first time I got to transform him into Dino mode, I was like, just beasting on people. And then the scene where Optimus is being held captive and they're getting ready to blow up the Ark with the warp cannon, and then you just see Metroplex rise up and you're sitting there going, oh, something's going to happen. And then he just punches Megatron, and then you control him as he punches him again, and then punches him again, and then punches him again.
Yeah.
I remember just I didn't have a mirror in front of me, but I wish I did, because I just remember feeling like I had the dumbest look on my face. Probably the look I've got on my face right now. It was amazing. It was so amazing. And then they took it even further, and they made the multiplayer one of the most fun I've ever played, and that's including the Halo franchise, which I'm a huge fan of. That multiplayer was so good, because not only do you get in there and play with everybody else who's playing as Transformers, everybody's Transformer was customized. The arms you want, the legs you want, the torso you want, the head you want. And then the torso would determine what vehicle mode you had. It was awesome. It was so awesome. There is nothing wrong. The only thing I will complain about with that game, the only thing, is that they took away co-op mode in campaign. Other than that, greatest Transformers game ever made, and the only way to top it is if High Moon came back to make another one. I'm throwing that out there, by the way. The sequel to Fall of Cybertron, Transformers, Legacy of Cybertron. High Moon, get on the ball. And then I want to see a Beast Wars game with that same game engine. Badly.
Oh, that would be amazing. If they released a Beast Wars game, I would pre-order that. I'd be in line day one. I'd be begging the store to open early. I'd be like, give me my Beast Wars game.
Oh yeah, me too. I'd be banging on the doors like, let me in. Let my people go.
Well, all right. So that's our personal top fives. Way more similar than I thought.
Oh, me too, actually. I just knew Darkspark was going to be on your list. I can't believe it wasn't.
I like Darkspark, but it's not. Don't have as fond of memories of it as Transformers the movie and Beast Wars. And Darkspark is a massive step down from War and Fall.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge step down. I still found fun in it, but it was glitchy, and it just didn't have that same polish that a High Moon game had.
It didn't. So, it didn't at all, because High Moon didn't make it. They got another team to come in and do it, because High Moon was on the Call of Duty games by this point.
And it showed. It did.
It did.
I still think it's worth playing, but it's...
I don't remember the name of the company who made it, and they were so insignificant, they didn't even bother to put them on the front of the box.
Yeah.
Whereas High Moon, front and center.
Yeah, well, they didn't put Platinum on the front of this one either. Activision left them off, and their logo's on the back.
Yeah.
Right there. So, it is what it is. But, all right. Well, I think that's a good episode for today. I think we covered the topics pretty well. We went over the news. But, what you think we should talk about next week?
Oh, it's my turn to pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm gonna let you throw a topic out there, and we'll cover it next week.
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot. Caught me with my britches down here. What topic?
While he's thinking, everybody, I know it's not Transformers related, but next week, probably the day after our video goes up, don't forget to go see the new Ghostbusters movie, because it looks amazing.
Yes!
And I want everybody to go see it so we get more awesome Ghostbuster movies.
Yeah, again, Transformers, Ghostbusters, my favorite movie of all time. 1984's Ghostbusters. Go and see this movie, people.
I've desperately tried to not get excited in case it does like a lot of like continuations of my favorite movie series have done, and it's just a train wreck. But every time there's like a little tease of the original Ghostbusters showing up, it's like I start to get excited. I'm like, no, don't do it. And then the last trailer, when you hear Bateman go, "Did you miss us?" and you see like the three of them from like here down, I was like, oh my god! Like I was tearing up a little bit. I was like, oh man.
Did you see Hugh Jackman's short video he posted online a while back?
I did not, no.
Hugh Jackman went and saw it, I guess it was red carpet.
Yeah.
And he selfied himself talking about how much he lived it as a lifelong Ghostbusters fan, and was telling everybody he had high expectations and this movie exceeded them, was his words. Now, other than being Wolverine and a few other characters, I don't really know how credible he is as a critic, but it gives me hope.
I want it to be so good, but I don't want to get too excited because I've been burned too many times.
Oh yeah.
But please be good.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you noticed, Venkman was wearing a wedding ring in that shot. He was wearing a wedding ring.
Might we get a Sigourney Weaver cameo in this movie?
She's supposed to be in it at some point.
Oh, there you go.
But I noticed that, and I was like, oh my god, Venkman got married to Dana.
How about that? That's better than what they did to him in the Ghostbusters the video game. Which, don't get me wrong, greatest Ghostbusters game ever made is Ghostbusters the video game for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But they didn't even mention Dana in that movie. He was hitting on the museum chick. I was like,
well, he's Venkman. That's what he does.
I know, but still, what the heck?
But anyway, we got way sidetracked there. But I just wanted to tell people, give it a chance, because everything tends to be a comic book movie, and I love comic book movies, but we really need original things. But if it's something like Ghostbusters, I'll be excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for comic book movies too, but I mean, I'm just to the point where I want Hollywood to actually do something original. Just once. Give me one big budget original movie, just one, and I'll shut up for a few years.
There you go. I'll tell you know what? That's my topic. Next week, we will discuss the top 5 Transformers movies of all time.
The top 5?
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually gonna be interesting. I mean, to me, there's a clear number one and a clear number two, and then it's real murky after that.
Yeah, that's why this list is going to be so great, because half of it's going to be terrible, and we don't really have any other choices. So this is basically our opportunity to rant about everything that's wrong with these movies, while still calling them top fives.
Well, that's gonna be interesting. All right, well, that's gonna be it for this week, folks. Hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. Sorry it came up late, just life scheduling conflicts. We just couldn't meet up this week. Next week we should be on time. Should be. Don't want to guarantee it because things happen. Cross our fingers. But we will see y'all then. So this is the Frankster.
This is the Arrow DJ Hart.
We will see y'all next week. Same bot time, same bot channel. Frankster out.